Since humans came to existence, we have been inventing, trying to find better ways to do usual things, to be more productive. We have been trying to explain how nature works. The more we invented, the more we wanted to know, the more we could know. Distributing our knowledge to others has been very important and is only possible through transport. Many people from all over the world have contributed to the way transport is now, constantly changing the ways we travel to other parts in the world. One of the most important men who has contributed to transport is Isambard King Brunel. Isambard King Brunel was born in 1806. Being the son of French civil engineer Marc Isambard, he was interested in building structures and such at a young age. Due to constant money worries, he was homeschooled by his father. He had learned observational techniques and drawing by the age of 4, and had learned Euclidean geometry by the age of 8. When Isambard turned 8 years old, he was sent to Dr. Morel's boarding school, where he learned the classics of technique. At the age of 14, he went to Lycée Henri Ivet in Paris and completed his studies there 2 years later. He remained in France for 1 year, studying under the guidance of master clockmaker Abraham Louis Breguet, before returning to England. It was here, around the year 1825, that Isambard started working on his first project. 23 meters below the ground, a tunnel was being built. Isambard worked as an assistant engineer on the project, led by his father, Marc Isambard, who was the chief engineer of the project. This tunnel wasn't just an ordinary tunnel, as it would be the first tunnel to be built underwater. It was a dangerous operation because something like this had never been done before. Safety was not always guaranteed. Multiple flutes obstructed the progress. Isambard even got badly injured in one of these flutes, leaving him for 6 months of recuperation. Isambard decided to stop working at the Thames Tunnel, but this was just only the beginning of his career as one of the most important engineers of all time. Hello, I'm Bas de Zwart. In the scene of the upcoming elections for the greatest Briton of all time, I'd like to interview the man who, in my opinion, has done Britain the greatest favor. The designer of ships, railways, trains and many more. Here is Isambard King Brunel. Hello Sir Brunel, thank you for coming. Let's start off with the questions immediately. What do you think has been your most adventurous achievement?
The SS Great Britain for sure. The SS Great Britain was, as some of you may know, the first propeller-driving great ocean ship. She was designed for the Great Western Steamship Company and served for transatlantic transport. It was a ship built mostly out of iron. Iron masts, iron joints, iron cables, iron railing, iron ribs, iron bulkheads and many more. The total amount of iron weighed around 1,500 tons. It was also the biggest transatlantic ship that had ever been built. Those factors made it quite a challenge to pilot it all the way through the Atlantic Sea. In 1849, the iron steamer crossed the Atlantic in only 14 days and 21 hours. and got back in as little as 13.5 a day. Everything about the ship needed to be perfect. She needed to be fast. She needed to be big. She needed to be working. The SS Great Britain, therefore, had been my biggest challenge, but also the most adventurous one.
Seems clear. What has been your most problematic project so far?
Most probably the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. First, let me tell you a little bit about the bridge. It has quite a unique design. The bridge itself is made out of wrought iron instead of stone. The design of the pillars on each side is quite different than other bridges. These pillars have an Egyptian influenced design. But let's get to the point. The Clifton Suspension Bridge has been nerve-wracking. In 1830 and 1831, two competitions were held to see which design was best for the suspension bridge. Smith and Hawkes of the Eagle Foundry in Birmingham won with their design, but I had a personal meeting with Gilbert, the leader of the competition, and I managed to let him choose my design for the competition, making me the winner. Then William Henry Barlow and Sir John Hawkshaw made a revised design with some improvements. Then my father started to mix in and gave me some advice. He even recommended me to place a central support for the bridge, as he didn't believe a single span bridge of such length could be constructed. Obviously, this was plain nonsense, and so I ignored his advice. The work on the bridge started on 21 June 1831. A few days later the work was halted by the Bristol riots, after the House of Lords rejected the Second Reform Bill, which aimed to eliminate some rotten boroughs, towns who possessed a royal charter, and give parliamentary seats to the fast-growing industrial towns such as Bristol. The riots dented commercial confidence, thereby seizing the bridge company and stopping further construction of the suspension bridge. In 1836, work resumed after the Act of the Great Western Railway was re-established. But now investments proved inadequate. Dowley Ironworks paid for the transport of 600 bar iron, but even this proved inadequate. The building of the bridge was completed after my death. Unfortunately, I never got to see the end result.
Thank you, Brunel. Don't forget to vote on the greatest Briton of all time.uk. I'm Bas de Zwart and this was 24 News.